You ever hit that bed?
What's that? Definitely not. I don't know if I've ever hit a public dance move in my life.
If Flacco told me to do this every day, I would do it. I go to him every day and I say, hey, bro, you good? You need anything?
Maybe focus on beat Dylan Gabriel, huh? Shedeur Sanders keeps impressing a lot of people, but I think the more important people that he seems to keep growing with is his teammates. Now, specifically, I want to talk about two teammates that are a bit of more veterans, right, in their own ways, in Jerry Judy, and then a complete super veteran in Joe Flacco. They had two interesting interactions over these past weeks. I kind of wanted to highlight those because we talked about the videos that he did with his younger teammates as rookies and that kind of gel, but it means a lot more to be able to find common ground with some of the guys that are a little older who've been in the league a little longer. So we're going to hop right into it. We're going to watch some cool videos, and I thought a video that was pretty cool of Shador trying to get Joe Flacco to dance, but the comments got mad, and it's the same thing with the Cam Ward video. We'll explain it. We'll get deeper into it, but after that, we'll have a few throwback videos of just Shador speaking on the mentorship. He's going to go deeper into Joe Flacco and what it means for him to have that in his locker room, and what he's going to be able to do. So really appreciate y'all rocking with me. Like the video if you like it. Dislike if you don't like it. Subscribe if you enjoy football content. Let's hear what Jerry Judy had to say about Shedeur Sanders to a camp of youngins, all right?
He's a great young quarterback coming to the league. I think he's going to do a tremendous job for us. He's a great dude. I'm excited to have him on.
He said he's excited to have him on our team. I think he's a great young quarterback. Obviously, he was talking through a cheese grater, so it didn't sound too good. I think he's a great young quarterback. I think he's going to do a tremendous job for us. He's a great dude. I'm excited to have him on our team. So Jerry Judy is now a veteran. What is he, year 3, year 4 into it? And he's somebody who faced a lot of criticism when you talk about early on in his career. Obviously, there was a lot of high expectations for Jerry Judy coming in out of Alabama. So, him not being able to be that complete receiver for Denver, I think left people looking at him in a certain way. But then you go over to the Browns and it's almost like you're unlocked, right? Even with not the best quarterback situation. So I think it's interesting that Jerry Judy is going to keep holding that. And I think he's going to be someone that whoever starts is going to be able to elevate, right? He's shown that it does not matter who the quarterback is. I'm going to go get my buckets. I'm going to go out there and be great. Having confidence from your wide receivers, hopefully you build that a little more. He's obviously been asked about him and talked about it. I think that's going to be great. We're going to see that relationship continue to develop. Now, a relationship that has been pretty well documented has to be Joe Flacco. Now, we watched the interview with Joe Flacco basically saying, like, hey, I'm not going to be a mentor to anybody. Not in a negative way, but just more so of like, hey, if I'm going to be somebody who thinks I can compete for an NFL job, I'm going to compete for an NFL job. I'm not just going to let some young dude, I'm not going to give you all the sauce and just be surprised when I don't have an NFL job. Like, I think at some point we have to express and understand what Joe Flacco means. And I didn't take that anyway negative. Now, people are going to take it negative, but it's hard to take this negative, even though people already did. Let's watch this video. I like this a lot.
You ever hit that bed?
What's that? Definitely not. I don't know if I've ever hit a public dance move in my life.
Always go crazy. Hey, man, I don't mean to date myself, but that was the high school days, man. I really thought Bobby Shmurda was going to be the next superstar. And then like 2 weeks after that song was the biggest song in the world, he got locked up. The hat was in the air. While the hat was in the air, got locked up, and then he came back, and then now everybody looks at him a little different. Anyway, but no, I just thought that was funny. I thought that was dope. And when you see these different interactions with Shedeur, it's clear that although everybody takes Shedeur more seriously than he takes himself. Like, everybody is like, oh, what? And we're gonna read the comments because of people taking this too serious. But like, how is that? Like, how is that even bad? And going back to the Cam Ward video, there was a Cam Ward video of him, hey, you want to make a song? Like, dog, can people not joke? Like, why do y'all only think that these professional athletes have to be like locked in all the time? And I just love football, and it's all I want to do is football. It's like, dog, they're humans. And better than that, deeper than that, this is somebody in Shedeur Sanders who's I'm trying to break some ice. I'm trying to relate to Joe Flacco, trying to get him chuckling, and he clearly chuckled. I'm not sure if you heard. He was like laughing. I ain't never done no public dancing. It's a funny joke, a funny question, dog. If you want to be in a bad mood and be all laser focused in, have fun. Do that. Tell me how much you'll enjoy the game of football and just enjoy doing things, because I don't think that's fun to look at it. Obviously, people on the comments had to say, kind of reminds you of that cringe interaction when he tried to get Cam Ward to make a song with him. Maybe focus on beating Dylan Gabriel, huh? How about stop talking to people, huh? And focus on destroying the opposition, huh? Dog, y'all are so melodramatic. Y'all, that's my problem with y'all. Y'all be taking this way too serious. They're playing a children's game. They're getting paid millions of dollars to play a children's game. I honestly, I look at people who take it too serious. Like, you might have a chemical imbalance. There might be something wrong with you if you take football too seriously. I'm sorry. And that's good. That probably makes some of the better football players. Hey, do great stuff. But as a human being, dog, I'm not impressed that you threw away your life, Tom Brady. I'm not impressed that you threw away your marriage and your children hate you because you wanted to win 17 more Super Bowls, okay? That didn't really happen. That's not, please, Tom, I'm joking. That's the narrative, right? You know, that's the narrative, hey, that he wants to do that. So rather than have that narrative, like, if you commit to the game, they're going to say you hate your family. If you don't commit to a game every single time and try to joke with Joe Flacco, January Joe, then you don't have any focus. But, I mean, it doesn't look that way. Again, we have to preface this by saying it's either one or two things. A lot of these people are trying to get their narratives off, yeah, but I think a lot of these people don't have friends. Like, I genuinely think some of these people have never had friends, so they don't know, like, specifically talking about the Cam Ward interaction. Oh my God, he wants to make a song? Like, are you serious? You think Shedeur Sanders just goes up to random people who don't rap and be like, hey, get on my rap song? Or maybe it's a fucking joke. Maybe everything isn't always as serious. Everything isn't always just you versus the enemy. I know you feel like that because you've play Call of Duty all the time or whatever it is, or you don't have friends or you don't have interactions. And then a lot of these people are bots too, like legitimate bots, not just joking, but like, a lot of times, you've heard dead internet theory. There's a large majority of AI bots that are made to just make you upset, make people who read comments upset. So let's read some of these comments. Hopefully they don't make you upset. One is a serious quarterback and one isn't, and clearly a Dallas Cowboys fan. So I'm not really sure if you have any opinions. Dan, all he did was make a joke with Flacco and y'all are blasting this guy. And I read the comments. They weren't that harsh. Now, the TikTok comments we're going to get into, they were harsh. They definitely getting hard knocks. So great, just so great. All this news on the 5th round quarterback. Who gives a flying? And he's calling them an idiot. You're still riding Shador even after the draft. This dude is going to be an absolute dumpster fire. I guess never dance, son. Don't ever think about dancing in that vicinity. And then here's some TikTok comments. Hey, I thought the TikTok guys were nice. They're ripping that. Hold up. They said Joe doesn't sound fun at all, which is kind of mean to Joe. Joe's just kind of, I thought he was just joking. He was going with the flow. Ty Jones says, and then old generation meets new generation. Very funny. Shedeur is going to have him dancing. Most diverse quarterback room of all time. This is the comment I want y'all to understand, it's a positive, yeah, that Shedeur Sanders. Y'all know, if y'all can go look at my channel. I did plenty of Colorado videos, but I've done plenty of other, football videos. My Sanders videos get the most views. I'm not dumb. I'm not stupid, right? But I think it's almost awesome because even without Shedeur, this quarterback room is already crazy. And then him adding Shedeur to this quarterback room makes it insane. And there's just so many angles. You have two rookies, one who's transferred from 3 different teams, a lefty who just competed basically almost for the national championship, went against the national championship, and got stomped out, but still beat him in the regular season, has gone to multiple different offenses, has gone under multiple different historic offensive coordinators as well when you talk about the college football world, especially because my son, right? And then you have Shedeur Sanders in that whole situation, HBCU legend, right? College football legend. Sorry about it. That's what statistics say. That's not what I said. That's what. Hold up, before I even go on this rant, that's what the statistics say, dog. That's what because I ain't playing no game. Wait. Oh, sorry. This is the wrong thing. It's the wrong thing. But I got stats to back it up. I thought I had them ready. I don't have them ready, but number one in completion percentage, all that good stuff. One of the most historic, all that goodness, right? You got Joe Flacco, Super Bowl champion, was playing with Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis, son. And all those phenomenal things. Played in one of the most iconic Super Bowls of all time, the Lights Out Super Bowl in New Orleans. Kenny Small Hands Pickett. You talk about someone who's had to deal with adversity pre-draft, during the draft, and even when he was the guy in Pittsburgh, he still had to deal with adversity. So that's interesting. But people are gonna take things negative in a certain way. But I think the most positive thing to take from this is that this is gonna be a fun storyline to watch. This quarterback room, and I think the Browns as a whole. You think about Harold Fannin, right? The number one, the greatest single season tight end season of all time, FBS leader in receiving yards as a tight end. All that craziness, right? You got Quinshon Judkins and Dylan Sampson. I think two people who are a one-man army. They've shown that they can do that. Obviously, national champion in Quinshon Judkins, okay? Right? There's a lot of different flavors. Jerry Judy, right? Didn't he win a national championship? Alabama won so many national championships. I'm assuming he won a national championship in one of his years there, right? A lot of diversity there. But I think the cornerstone, and if you were to ask me, hey, who do I think is going to start? I think you ask Browns people, they say Kenny Pickett. If you ask me who's going to start week one, I'd say Joe Flacco. I'd say January Joe. I'd say because I've seen this man throwing frozen ropes back in the day, and I saw him at OTAs throwing more frozen ropes. And with all that controversy, quote unquote, about him dancing with them and yada, 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 people trying to make, mountains out of molehills, I thought this was interesting to kind of come back on. Now, he talked about this on Twitch. He talked about Joe Flizzity Flacco. And what he said was, if Joe Flacco told me to organize his locker every day, I'd do it. I go to him every day and ask, are you good? Do you need anything? Because it's respect.
I know when I'm a vet, what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a rookie organize my locker every day before he leaves. How?
Because you're not on that, so that's ass that you need to try to.
What?
Ass. Nobody has ever been on that with you. It'll be ass for you. Ultra ass. Ultra ass. No,
This is the thing. No.
What?
If Flacco told me to do this every day, I would do it. Because, bro, I real talk, chat, real talk. I go to him every day and I say, hey, bro, you good? You need anything?
But when you be like.
Right hand, because it's respect. You feel me? I feel that.
I think you cap, but it's all good.
Ask him.
Hey, look, I know Shador is he's just funny the way he said things. Obviously, joke, but I think the organized locker room, maybe that's a little bit hyperbolic. Obviously, he said that that's what he wanted. To be honest with you, you know what I'm saying? He said that's what I want, so I would do it so I could have that when I'm a vet. But more importantly, hey, I ask him every day, do you need anything, right? I do think that this is a relationship that is building, is growing. It's something that Shedeur Sanders seemingly is purposefully trying to foster and trying to grow to another way. And I think that's great. I think that, it's easy to look at the competitive nature of football and just kind of take away and absolve all of the things that, Joe Flacco's a legend, dog. I'm not sure if he's a gold jacket, where I don't know if I go that far, but Joe Flacco's a legend in the game of football. Super Bowl champion. Plenty of accolades and records and situations. FCS football legend as well. Right? So when I look at Shedeur Sanders not only wanting to just be a rookie, but also, hey, that's Joe Flacco. It's not just, oh, you're a vet. It's that, hey, I respect, again, that respect part, I respect what you've done, what you've been able to put out there, and what you represent, and what I can gain from you. And I think that's positive. I think it's positive to respect that person that you gain from it. And look, Shedeur Sanders is very understanding of what he has around him.
By doing what my dad raised me to do since I was like 5 years old, I seen it. I seen what he was able to do, and I have a lot of great resources and mentors, to keep me on the right track. And especially coming in this building, we have great coaches in the building, able to, keep me focused, keep me in a straight, narrow line.
Love to hear that. And again, the self-awareness to understand that this is something that, is happening. Understand that, I have a lot of resources. I'm utilizing a lot of resources and that's how it grows. And I want to speak about, I know we're kind of focusing on the veteran leadership. I just, as we end this video off, speaking about a relationship that, you should really be able to look out on, and something that I want to kind of double down on is the fact that Shedeur Sanders has not just found his home and trying to find his way on the Browns, but I think more specifically, this rookie class, it feels very connected, and they feel connected through Shedeur. And I don't think that's just Shedor's doing. I think that's a credit of these Browns teams. I think this is a extremely unique group of Browns players. I think Dylan Gabriel, as much as, people either want to make him the villain or the savior, you know what I'm saying? I think that his ability to handle adversity through the years, because he's transferred multiple places, I think that helps him now. I haven't seen one negative thing from Dylan Gabriel. I haven't seen one negative, not even on some competition. Nope, he's keeping kosher. He's keeping, hey, that's my teammate. That's my guy. I see the interactions between Shedeur and Dylan. They seem pretty decent. They seem pretty good. Obviously, that's a little more direct one-to-one competition. Like, y'all are literally both the rookies, so it's probably not going to be as sweet. But I see the interactions with him and Dylan Sampson. They're always together. I see Quinshon Judkins and Shedeur Sanders. There's a conversation there. And then on Connection Football Field, him and Harold Fannin, I haven't seen them interact off the field. But I say all that to say that I think that it's important to acknowledge what it means to be a quarterback in the same way that we acknowledge that being a head coach extends past X's and O's and calling plays and, getting personnel. It's also, hey, can you be a diplomat? Can you be a person that, these players feel like they can trust? In that same way, that's the reason why quarterbacks get paid the big bucks, because you're not just going to be presumed the most important player. You're also the presumed leader, and that means a lot. Just being the presumed leader, not, hey, you're the presumed best player. Okay, that's different. Maybe a running back can do that. Maybe a wide receiver can do that. But even if you're not the best player on the team as a quarterback, you're still the guy. You're still going to be the one that's going to be asked the questions, and it's going to be kind of falling on you. So, him kind of embracing that in this almost, hey, I'm going to scratch everybody's back the best way I can. I'm going to feel, humble, make the jokes, do it, be more down to earth. For somebody who's so brash and arrogant and cocky and all these other things that were said about him in the pre-draft process, he seems to be, hey, just joking around. He seems to not take himself too seriously to the point that, to the betterment of the people around him. And it's just dope to see how these relationships continue to foster, continue to grow. Obviously, starting with the veterans. So shout out to Jerry Judy saying those things he said. Shout out to Joe Flacco and that relationship that's being developed. Shout out to Shedeur Sanders for putting in the work in this, I think, elite rookie Browns class. I think this is, I don't know, man. It's my first time paying this much attention to the Browns, but maybe the Browns are just going to continue to be the Browns, but I do think that even if you take Shedeur out of here, you take both the quarterbacks out of there, I still think this is an amazing draft class for the Cleveland Browns. You get two great running backs that have, been able to be successful in the SEC and at the national championship era. You get the most productive tight end of all time, right? I mean, you get Mason Graham. I mean, for some reason, the number 5 overall pick, one of the best hand fighters, one of the better, the best interior defensive line of the draft. It just seems to be kind of being brushed over. You put him next to Myles Garrett of all people, like. Y'all didn't just get some guys. Y'all got some value in a lot of different places. So if you're a Browns fan, I think you got to be happy. If you're a Shedeur fan, I think you've got to be intrigued by the way things are developing. And I think this is going to be a fun story to watch, even if, he doesn't get the number 1 nod, if he just makes the team. What if Shedeur just becomes the glue guy? He just brings the energy. But y'all let me know down below how you feel, how Shedeur is going to fare, what this means for him in reality. Really appreciate y'all rocking with me and watching the videos. Like the video if you do like it. Dislike it if you don't. Subscribe if you enjoy football content of all shapes and sizes, man. Hit that bell icon if you want to stay locked in. Continue to be great, even though you know you're great. I just want you to know that I know that you know that we know you're great. Keep doing it, man. See you next time. Peace.